All right, welcome back. I'm Kim Ellis. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel again as I share my second part of my visits to Korea. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so now. It really helps out the channel. Feel free to share and write comments. I love to hear comments from you guys. In Korean, the word for hello is Annyeong, and the word for goodbye is Annyeong. And so in this video, I want to share with you, how do you say your final goodbye? So I got a call early in the morning last September from my oppa, and he was telling me that my mom was dying, and he wasn't sure how long she had to live. He told me that my mom, my oma, had stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He told me that the doctors had given her 3 months to live. Did I want to get on a plane? I don't like planes. I don't like heights. I don't like being enclosed for that long, that high up in the air. But I needed to make a decision now to go or possibly regret it for the rest of my life. I had seen my mom when I went to visit in 2004. I also had my mom, she came and visit in 2010, and we had FaceTimed and things like that, but I hadn't seen her for 13 years. I hadn't been to Korea in 19 years. So the last time that I went, I was with my ex-husband and my son Quincy, and this time I would be alone. But within 24 hours of that phone call, I was on a plane halfway around the world. So after staying that night with my brother and his girlfriend, the next day we went to see my mom. And she was so happy to see me. I was so happy because I could sit by her bedside and I could have this translation app. And I could hold my mom's hand and I was able to just voice translate. And I also FaceTimed my family at home so she could see them, which was wonderful. She has not met my husband, Chris, and she hasn't met my son, Zach. But it's really sweet because anytime she talks about Zach, there's no Z specifically in Korea. Instead of Zach, she would always call him Saku. So from her hospital bed, she was able to say hi to Saku and see how big my little Zach had grown. My older sister, I have one sister, my oldest sister, Minsuk, and she was not there, but the sister right above me, Changsuk, she had, in between this time of me coming 19 years ago and me visiting again in 2023, she had passed away. She had had a difficult, abusive second marriage, and unfortunately she committed suicide. And so that wasn't easy to be there that second time, and wish that she had been there as well. My younger brother, Jungsik, though, he came the next day to visit. In between the time that I had seen him last in 2010, he had gotten married, and he had 2 sons, and sweet, sweet boys. It was really fun that when we were just hanging out at my brother's place, I started to play my Duolingo, and my brother Jungsik's littlest son was just fascinated. He was fascinated. I'm sure he was probably looking at his Como aunt and going, why does she not know these simple words like apple and happy and things like that? And he enjoyed watching it, and we had a little bond there while I was playing my Duolingo and keeping my streak up, which actually the other day I just got to 2 years, which for me, the Duolingo has been such a blessing because it's more than just an app, a game. It helps me to understand a lot of words, and it's helped me a lot more. And I know that between the first time I went to visit and the second time, I knew a lot more words. And the second time around, I could probably understand about 50%, which I think was actually a little unnerving at times because my brother and his girlfriend and my little brother would talk sometimes, and I think they forgot that they would just assume that I didn't understand most of what they were saying in Korean, and when they would speak to each other, and I could understand quite a lot. But the first time we went out, we went to an Italian pasta place, which is kind of funny, I guess. He probably wanted to give me an American meal, and it was good. Of course, even in an Italian pasta restaurant, they had the banchan, the Korean pickled pickled items on the side. So that made me really happy, and that was really good. So with my mom, they gave her 3 months, and we went to visit several times while I was there for a week in Korea. And there were some days that she was really alert, and then there was some times that she was in just a lot of pain, and that was hard to see. When I was there, my older brother, my oppa, he told me, don't come back for the funeral. It's just hard. And it is a long journey, and it costs a lot of money. But this second time around to visit Korea, of course, I wasn't pregnant, and I was by myself. So I had the opportunity to be quite an observer. My brother, my oppa, and his daughter Sunduk, and her daughter and son, we went to Lot Mall. The neat thing about being with my niece Sunduk and her daughter Hyoen, it was Hyoen looked like me when I was a little girl, and I think Hyoen's 8 or 9, maybe 10. I don't know. In Korea, you're already a year old when you're born, and then everybody changes to be a year older at the new year. So sometimes it's hard to keep up with how old people are. But Hyoen looked so much like me that I hope I didn't freak her out, because I just kept looking at her, because it was like going back in time looking at myself when I was a little girl. So the genes are pretty strong, and it's pretty cool to be able to see that. They took me to Lot Mall, Lot Tower, and since I'm vegan, they were trying to find a place for me to eat, and I told them they didn't have to worry about that, but they kept saying, Como wants tubu. We've got to find a tubu place. Tubu, what is tubu? And I realized that tubu is the word for tofu. So they found me a tubu place, and I got to eat all the tofu I wanted, and it was very good. And the neat thing about being there was it was Chuseok. So Chuseok is the Korean Thanksgiving. One of the days we went to my mom's apartment, and we went to clean it out and get the important things. And my mom still had the photo album that I had given her. Well, that was really sweet to see. So my oppa also took me to a place where they have a ginseng festival, which in Korea the word for ginseng is insam. And I got a picture with some dancing ginseng. I also had fried ginseng, and ginseng is one of those items that people will give as gifts. My brother also took me back to Namdaemun, and I had been there the first time with my family. This time we went in the daytime, and I was really excited because I wanted to buy a hanbok. So we were shopping, and as I was shopping and looking at things, and my brother lost me a couple times, and I freaked him out. But as we were shopping, he watched me and he said I shop just like my mom, which was a really sweet compliment. So I bought the hanbok because I wanted to have my book tour events, and I wanted to be able to wear my hanbok in honor of Korea. They also took me to Seoul Tower. We went to the Namsan Tower Walk, and it is 123 floors, 4.3 miles up, and it's 10,000 steps. So if you're trying to get in your 10,000 steps, it's a really good place. The really cool thing about going there is almost at the top they have the locks where people declare their love for each other, and they put a lock and their name on the lock. It's a bit crazy to drive there. I'm sure other people were probably a little safer than my brother, and he watches as he knows. He's a bit wild with his driving. So also we went to Annyeong, first station, a shopping mall kind of underground, and we had these fish cakes, which are like funnel cakes, I guess, kind of, but they're kind of like funnel cakes on the outside, but on the inside they have either red bean paste or like a white cream. They were so good. I'm kind of glad they don't have them here because I would eat a lot of them. We also went to the Northeastern Watchtower. We went and we flew kites. So after we went to fly kites, we went to a restaurant where it was really cool, where they had the table all set up. There were a different table. They would bring this table, and it was already set up with food, and it would just slide right onto our table. So I was able to see my mom several times when I was there. The last time was hard because I knew that would be my last Annyeong, my last goodbye to my mom, because I knew I wouldn't be back. So I got home and it was October of 2023. And my mom, thankfully, she lived for another 5 months because my mom's a fighter. She's a strong woman. She was a strong woman. She passed away January 25th. It might have been the 26th in Korea. Like a week before she passed, my brother FaceTimed me, and I could see my mom, and there was something about seeing my mom's face on FaceTime right next to mine on the screen. And she had a letter in her hand that I could read part of it. I took a screenshot of it, and it said, "Jesus, Father, thank you." That meant a lot that she was holding that. I don't know if she was holding that for me or she was holding that to be a witness for the nurses and the people around her, but it spoke to me, and I'm so thankful that I could have lived the rest of my lifetime never knowing my birth family. But God gave me the opportunity to find her in 2001, and I had 23 years, which is a lot more than anyone sometimes has. I was given 23 years to get to know my mom, spend time with my birth family, and I'm so thankful. You can read more about my story if you want to order my book. It's on Amazon, and it's called Annyeong, Korea. Thank you so much for taking the time to visit with me. I hope that you can like, subscribe, and share. Thanks. And Annyeong. So we got to see the Seongnyeom moon. Seongnyeom moon? I'm not saying that very right.